Okay, welcome everybody to Rig It on Thursday with the coach, Jordan. We got a show today, buddy. I tell you what, it is nothing but rain all day here. It's dreary, it's cold, so there's not a better thing to do right now than to talk about baits. So I want to start off today just kind of hitting something we got on the Big Bite site right now, sale. You know, it's been raining. It seems like it won't quit raining. I mean, it's raining every week, every day. The water here at our lake looks like tomato soup red, and I know all throughout the South, I've been talking to anglers, and they're all talking about how muddy and dirty the water is. So one of the things that went on during the Major League Fishing event here at Eufaula was red colors worked real well in that muddy water. So what we decided to do at Big Bite was we developed a red tester kit that we got for sale. It's a $30 value. We got it on sale right now for $18.99, and I just wanted to take a minute and talk about what was in the kit and tell everybody if you're interested in trying some red type baits, you can pick them up on this deal. So you can get the 8-inch finesse worm in green pumpkin Texas red. You can get the Rayburn red 5-inch suicide shad. You can get the swimming craw tube and the craw tube in both in green pumpkin Texas red. You can get the 4-inch fighting frog, my favorite, in red melon. And then we've got the 8-inch creek tail lizard in crime scene. So you get a good variety of red flavor if you want to try that. So that's something I would say. Go to www.bigbitebaits.com/red to order. Anyway, give it a try. Take a look at it. It's pretty neat. Now, I've got a pretty good show planned for us today. I'm gonna got a little surprise guest fixing to come on with me here in just a minute. But before we do that, I got one question. I think, Jordan, you had a question you wanted to ask me from last week's show that was something different.
Yeah, we had someone psyched to fish asked, do we have any new colors for 2020?
Boy, do we have a new color. I'm psyched, all right. Psyched for fish. We came up with something yesterday. Now, I don't know how much y'all been keeping in tone what's going on, but this new fire crawl looking chatterbait is on fire, especially in our parts of the United States. If you don't believe me, just go on to online sites that sell and see if you can buy one. You can't. That sun gun right there is like gold. Anyway, to make a long story short, so we kind of got a little carried away here at Big Bite yesterday, and we developed a trailer for it. We want to get a little bit ahead of the game. We call it Flamethrower, and it's built to fit that chatterbait. And if you hadn't got that chatterbait, you need to try it. You need to try this trailer, and this trailer will be available here probably sometime next week. We'll have them in production and for sales. And basically, you know, you need to get you one of these. I can't wait to dip this baby in the lake and see what happens. But anyway, that's called Flamethrower. Get it here at Big Bite Bait, and we'll have it at the Classic as well. So something to look at, something new. Like I said, Jordan, I'm fired up about that. So I got a guest coming on with me today. Have I got you on yet, Harvey? Have you come on with us yet? I'm going to have my man Harvey Horne on here with us today. Hopefully, if we can get him hooked up, and we'll talk about his success in the first Bass Elite Series event down in Florida. So you with me live, Harvey? I got there. You all right? I see you. Good.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Yeah, great. We had a little technical difficulty. Weather's bad. Let's see that preliminary I did about the red baits and all.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And what'd you think about that? Talk about that.
Man, that's a sweet deal for this time of year. You know, most of the country right now, we're in high, muddy, cold water conditions. Mm-hmm. And that red, I can literally reach right over here. I've got a package of Mad Melon 4-inch fighting frogs myself to come in handy real soon. You know.
Did you like that? You like that chatterbait trailer?
Daggum right I do. That thing's nice, man. I'm ready to get some of those. And you didn't tell me about that when we talked yesterday.
Well,
you was hiding that one from me.
We just did this yesterday. This is my surprise for the day, man. So let's go ahead and talk about Harvey Horne, man. You're coming off a 12th place finish in the first elite tournament. You're off to a great start. I know you're excited after me and you talked last year and everything. And I think you I always knew through my coaching stuff, if you get off to a good start, that's good. So tell us a little bit about what you did down in Florida and the baits you used, and let's talk a little bit about it.
All right, first and foremost, what everybody knows me for, I was actually flipping this. I was using the hematoma. This is the Vegas Flash, but man, that fighting frog, it's put more money in my bank account than anything else I've ever owned.
Right, that hematoma was a black blue swirl with some red flake in it, so all of our listeners will know if they don't, so they kind of know about it.
Yeah, the other bait that I was using was the was the jerk minnow. I was using the watermelon red back with the pearl belly. This is more like our Tennessee shad color. One of the key things that I was doing a little bit different is I was using this G-Finesse. You can see how small that hook is right there compared to the bait that it's on. You know, our jerk minnow is a pretty good sized bait, and I was able to throw that bait on heavier line than what I would normally throw it on. I was throwing it on, 20-pound sunline sniper, a 7/6 heavy action rod. Didn't get the big bites that I'd got in practice in the first area that I fished on day one, but I knew that there was potential there for big fish to be caught, so I was throwing it on heavier line than what I normally would. And I was able to come out of day one and survive. We go to Florida, we have to survive that first tournament to have a shot at doing something, by the end of the year. And we came out of there with, the jerk minnow and the fighting frog. Ended up in 12th place, which was a great finish compared to what we had down there last year. And just looking real forward to going to the next event. I know you've got some history up there on all those TVA lakes, and man, those places are just outstanding fisheries. And I'm excited to get to this chick here in a couple of weeks.
Y'all gonna have a good time, no doubt about that. Now, I noticed on the somewhere I saw on the internet, did you put a little red dot on the head of that minnow to maybe entice a bite or something? We back to red again.
Yeah, I would literally color about 1/4 of an inch on both sides of the head of that jerk minnow in red. Then I would take the tail, just the tail section, and I would color the top and the bottom of that tail in blue.
Mm-hmm.
I've asked a lot of those fish why they bit certain things, and I've never had one tell me. But that's just one of those little keys that I feel like it makes me get a few more bites through the day.
Right.
Years ago, we started doing that, coloring the head and the tail, and it seems to help you.
Everybody knows that me and you both like to fish a fighting frog for sure, but the fact that you use that jerk minnow, that's one of our older baits that we've had for many years. And it's nice sometimes to see people go back and catch maybe fish on what I'd call an old school bait, and I thought that was kind of neat. Is that something that you use a lot?
It's one of those that I kind of keep tucked away just in case we got the right conditions. Down there in Florida, we just happen to have those right conditions going into the tournament. It actually plays a bigger part just as they're starting to make beds or just as they're starting to spawn. And then again, once they come off and they're starting to feed on shad, those are the 2 times a year that I'll really key in on that, because I can work that bait really fast and keep it high up in the water column and get them to react to it. And I think that's what they were doing down there for me.
Right. Well, that worked out good. Now, talk a little bit about how you had your fighting frog rig.
I actually, well as anybody, when I'm flipping this bait, I'll actually put it on a Gamakatsu screw lock hook. But 90% of the time, I don't have any handy, but I'm throwing it on a swing head. And what I'll do is I'll take these 6/0 hooks for my 5-inch baits, and I've got a friend that I'll actually pour those swing heads with our G-Finesse 6/0 for my 5-inch fighting frogs. And that's what I was using down there. I was crawling it through the timber, flipping it into heavy brush. We didn't have any grass, so I had to go adapt and do what I do. And that's usually finding trees, laydowns, and brush piles that I can crawl that big fighting frog through and pick up the fish.
Yeah, that's pretty neat because, most people that would have been down there would have probably told me they had that thing pegged up with a big lead and was punching it or flipping it. So actually casting it, that's a little bit of a different approach, I think, for down there especially.
That was the deal for me is I went north the first 2 days of practice, and I went looking for fish that were staging. I didn't really want to see them on the beds, but I wanted to find those fish that were in that staging process.
Right.
And day one, I went south. Me and Dale Hightower made the big run down past Lake George and got down there. And I don't even remember how he did. I don't think, don't remember. But, I caught 4 fish, put me in 46th. I felt like I had enough fish for maybe 1 or 2 days found up north. And luckily, on day 2, I was able to go up there. I caught a 6/6 was my second fish of the morning. I would start the mornings out with the jerk minnow and a couple of creeks up there. Then I would move on up the river or down the river, as the case may be, because going north is actually down the river down there.
That's right.
And I would pick up my fighting frog and, you know, try to finish out my limit and start culling, which is what I did on day 2.
Well, that sounds like that was a pretty neat deal for you for sure. Well, anyway, it was good having you on with us today. We're going to get this all pieced together and make it work. And I guess I'll see you a week after next at the Classic. We're looking forward to that. Tell all of our viewers if they happen to be at the Classic, swing by the Big Bite booth and see you and me both there. We'll both be there some during the week.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have our full schedule posted on social media for all the folks. If you want to come by and see me, Coach is going to be there pretty much all the time. But I'll have certain times down that I'll be with the folks from Big Bite and all the other great sponsors that I work with. That way, everybody can come and find me if they want to.
Well, we're looking forward to that. Once again, I want to congratulate you, and I'm glad we're off to a good start this go round.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you next week.